You could be listening to Taylor Swift driving your car as you plow into a tree, and they're not going to mention it. But it's crazy how the whole establishment works, and I know my message is good, and I know that I'm helping people. But the scary thing is when you go deeper down the rabbit hole, you understand that that's why they dislike me. Do I go to Christian countries and feel like Christianity is preserving them? If you're at home right now and you're thinking, I want to become a millionaire, that's fine. But if you want to make 20, 30, 40 million dollars and you're from nothing, you're from a council estate like me, and you want to end up with, well, I have hundreds of millions of dollars, but let's say you want to make 30 mil. There is no way you're getting there without catching a case. The feds are going to jump on you. You're going to get tax evasion, money laundering. Some girl's going to want some money. You're going to end up in a jail cell. I guarantee it. So the UK is trying to put me in jail. And I'm saying this now on this podcast. Everyone listen to me. The UK is coming next. Romania's failed. UK's picked it up.
Right, Andrew.
All right, so some context, right? So I'm not in the industry anymore, but I used to run a webcam studio like 5 or 6 years ago. So like before OnlyFans
I knew
existed.
it.
Interesting.
Listen, yeah, it's an interesting story. I'll explain how I got there. So now it's a lot more common, the idea of OnlyFans, webcam, that kind of thing. But when I was doing it 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was a lot less common.
Right.
Right? So I was a kickboxer. I was 4-time world champion, but kickboxing is not boxing, right? We make money, but we don't make boxing money. So I made maybe 150,000 a fight, which is okay, but you fight 2 or 3 times a year. You've got money, but you're not
Sponsorships.
Yeah, you make a bit of money. I mean, I'm living in London. My rent's 25 a month, and I'm pushing all these nice cars and that. So I'm making money, but I'm making that much money. Long story short, I invested in this place in Thailand, this property, which I still have now, which is not worth anything because of this virus, and they closed the country, blah, blah, blah. And I needed to pay, I think it was like 400 grand, and I had a payment date, and I paid 300 grand, and I had to pay the last 100 grand. I only had 70 grand. Now, I was 30 grand short, right? And I said to Tristan, I said, you know what? When's the last time I got lucky? And he's like, don't do it. It's like, bro, don't trust the big G. I'm going to go to the casino with this 70. I'm going to turn it into 100 because we have like a few days. We got to pay this bill. And he's like, don't do it. I was like, bro, it's a big brother. Relax. So I went to the casino and lost all the money.
No way! No.
All of it. I got wrecked. And you know what? I was driving there, right? I'm driving to the casino in the BMW, and I'm like Googling, doing the math. Like, okay, blackjack has the best statistical odds. Roulette has a 2.7% advantage. Blackjack has the best advantage. I memorized the best blackjack theory based on the other card they have showing in my card, whether you hit stick. I memorized the best theory, the best possible statistical odds. I wasn't even playing emotionally. I was playing by statistics and got wrecked. So I lost all the money. I came home to T, lost all the money. That we don't argue because we're brothers. We refuse to argue. So he was like, I told you. He's like, yeah.
Like,
Now we're really in trouble.
Where was
that?
Yeah. So this is in London.
Oh.
This is in London, right? So I don't know how much I can say on YouTube, but through kickboxing and through fighting, you know a lot of dodgy people, a lot of bad guys. It's kind of one of them industries, right? So I had some friends so I could hit up for 100 grand. So I hit them up, but these are guys you have to pay back, right? So I make the payment, blah, blah, blah. And then I needed money fast. And I'm trying to shorten the story because I don't want to go on for too long, but I needed money fast. And I said to Tristan, look, I owe us 70 grand. So I'm going to lock myself in my room and I'm not going to leave till I've made it. And this is a long time ago now. So this is maybe 10 years ago. Think about 10 years ago. There was no Twitter, no Instagram, Facebook a bit, MySpace.
Oh, yeah.
This is the beginning of the internet. Like the idea of making money online now is so common, but back then you didn't know all these entrepreneurs selling stuff and Instagram, none of that. I didn't know anybody who made money on the internet, but I was determined to find a way to make money on the internet, right?
Technically, you needed 100 grand.
Yeah, well, exactly. I did 150. So I said to Tristan, look, I'm going to make some money. I'm going to work out how. So Tristan's like, yeah, whatever. So I'm sitting in my room all day, fasting, meditation, all this yoga fire crap. Sitting there thinking, I need to find a way to make money. And I started Googling up what money is. And it's actually interesting how the world works because now I've made a whole bunch of money outside of kickboxing. And all the lessons I learned back then now apply because I understood the banking system. I understood how money works. I understand fractional reserve banking. I understand all these things, quantitative easing. I understand how it's all a lie. Money's fake. It isn't even tied to anything. The gold standard's gone. Inflation's here. And the common man's getting wrecked in real time. So I actually learned a lot about how money works. And then I got really angry because I learned how money works and I still didn't have any. So now I'm really pissed, right? I'm like, oh, so money's a scam and I ain't got none. Right. So I was really angry anyway. So I was watching this YouTube video and I had to write, and they were talking about liabilities, assets, the difference between having an asset, liability, blah, blah, blah. And I started writing down my assets. I was like, okay, I got a couple cars, got a house. I'm big and strong, but I'm already fighting. I don't know how else to use it. Da, 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 da. And what I had was and please, ladies, don't attack me. But through my kickboxing career, because I'd traveled the world, what I would do is I'd fly around the world and I'd win a world title or I'd win a kickboxing fight. And then I'd be with one of the ring girls for a week or whatever. So I had all these girlfriends all around the world.
I'm a ring girl.
You've been a ring girl?
Yeah, you can see it on my YouTube channel.
If you win,
Nice to meet you.
Damn.
if you win, you get a ring girl. If you lose, you get nothing. But so they all thought I was the big G, right? I'm in London. I'm the world champ. That little did they know I have a mafia debt now. So, so I had all these girlfriends all around the world, whatever. And by coincidence, I wrote them. I didn't write them down, but I thought of them. Well, that's something I kind of have. And I was talking to Tristan, and we were talking about how we literally were talking about how we'd never open a strip club. So we're never going to open a strip club because it costs too much to set up. It's too much to invest. We need to make money. We don't have any money, so that's stupid. Anyway, and by coincidence, and I was never one of those guys, and I will say this now on webcam, I was on the live thing. I was never, and I never have been one of them porn guys. I don't go on porn sites. I don't do none of them shit. I never have, because I've never needed to, right? Never been interested. By coincidence, I was on some website. I think it was a gaming website, some not Doppler, some crap. And in the corner it said, "Talk to live girls now." And it's something, I think it's because I just thought about the fact I had all these girls. I was like, so I clicked on it and I saw some Russian chicks sitting there on some crappy webcam and like these little tokens coming in. I was like, okay, so maybe I could get.
Now you see the wheels turning.
So I'm sitting there going,
I love the hat.
I can confirm that was my
I love
sister.
that.
That was my sister. I can confirm.
That's my sister.
Continue on.
So I was like, this bitch is making money. She ain't even hot. And she's just sitting there. And this is the early days of the internet, like dial up. Like she was sitting there, like with her clothes on, like moving like this. Like just sitting. I was like, that makes money? That makes money? So I messaged all my girlfriends. I had 5 of them. I was like, look, you're moving to London. I've decided we need to be together. You're coming to London, blah, blah. She's like, well, I have nothing to do in London. I said, don't worry, I got a job for you, baby. It's going to be fine. You're going to come work for me. And I was sitting there for a while thinking, how do I organize the fact that these 5 girls are coming in thinking they're my girlfriend? And I want them all to do this job. And I decided that honesty is always the best policy.
Exactly.
And I also decided that I'm not a coward. And I also decided that if all 5 of these chicks attacked me at once, I've got the Aikido. I can deal with it. You understand? I've been around the block.
At least 2 of them are going to be
I've been around the block, right? I don't want to take them out, but I could. So they ain't got hands. So I ain't got much to worry about. So I flew all 5 of them in on separate flights. I sat them all down at the same table and said, listen, ladies, this is what we're going to do. And I talked about the webcam business, talked about how I've been with them all, asked them all to come to London, etc. 3 of them told me to get fucked, go back on a plane. 2 of them stayed. And the 2 who stayed worked for me for a very long time. And from there, for about the next 4 years, it built into an empire where I ended up having 75 girls, 5 locations. I was turning over $4 million a month. And it all it went crazy from there. And yeah, that's the story of the webcam business. That's kind of what it is. And that's one of the reasons why I retired. I'm back now because I'm a violent individual by nature. But I retired from fighting because I started to make a whole bunch of money. And then it got more mainstream and I bowed out of it. About 4 or 5 years ago, we sold all our interests and we're not in that business anymore. But that's how it all worked. That's all it went. So that's how it head to toe. But I was just honest about it. But I actually had a lot of respect for those 2 girls who stayed. I had a lot of respect for them. It was me and these 2 chicks. We were living in an apartment. We were a happy throuple for a while. And
Don't forget, my girls were making us money too. Don't forget that. I'm just saying. Well, you think I was just what? Sitting with my feet up being like, well, you lost all the money in the casino. So no. I was doing the exact same thing, just for the record.
So the webcam had you and the other girls.
No. It was just the girls.
Oh, it was just a girl.
I was just a manager. And you know what's actually really
You
interesting?
were the pimp.
I was the pimp.
Yeah.
And we can talk about pimping as a whole because we can talk about pimping because pimping has a very bad name.
Yeah.
And I genuinely believe that pimping, if it's done correctly, is not a negative thing. And I think that overall, if you're a pimp, you're a positively inspirational and motivating person. And that is your job, right? And I want to say this because everyone
break it down.
I will break it down. I'm about to break it down pimping. I'm gonna break it down pimping because people are sitting there saying, well, why does the girl work for you? Why wouldn't she work for herself? And I'll tell you why. Because the girl who works for herself doesn't make any fucking money.
You have the opportunities.
It's not even just a girl can make $3,000 a month for herself or $50,000 a month, 50-50 with you. And the difference between men and women are a few things. But women are, once again, I'm not trying to insult anybody, but women, if they find a way to make money, they make enough to make money to pay the bills and then they go party. Whereas a man goes, oh, we found a way to make money. Let's never sleep again and make money forever. So we have a different mentality towards money. That's the first thing. Second thing is we can provide emotional support. It's not easy to be a webcam chick and get no tips, right? So if a girl would log in and no one would send her any money, she'd be upset. But she could come to me, the pimp, and I'd be like, baby, oh, that's because there's a big football game. There's some football game on. It's not your fault. Everyone did shit today. No, I'm lying through my teeth.
Our other girls killed her.
But she feels better. Now she's happy again. Now she'll try again. She'll go back with the renewed courage and she'll make it, right? If she's by herself, she's like, oh, no one likes me. Fuck this. And she'll quit. You'll see even now with OnlyFans, the best, biggest OnlyFans girls that exist in the world today are working for agencies run by men. Any girl who's independent makes a couple thousand here and there, blah, blah, blah. They ain't making big money. The girls who are making big, big, big money, a man comes along and says, here's your photo sets. Here's what you're doing today. Here's your schedule. Boom, boom, boom. Don't worry, I got 5 people in your account pretending to be you. Got 4 of your sugar daddies are online. Bang, 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 bang. Money. It's a business. I was straight business about it. I was not involved in this business trying to be Dan Bilzerian. It was all money. Of the 75 girls who worked for me, it was money, money, money. I had zero interest in trying to fucking fuck them all or run around, have threesomes, none of that shit. It was pure business. That's why we made so much money. But pimps have a very, very important role in the whole industry. I'm telling you. And overall, all we do is provide motivational support. The idea that you can convince a girl to do something she doesn't want to do and make her do it en masse every day, 4 years by force is bullshit. I can't come along to you and make you do something you don't want to do. No, all I can do is make it comfortable and make you realize it's worthwhile and financially reward you. I had a business that offered girls a job, the same as McDonald's does, the same as the office does. Sit on the computer and make some money. That's all it was. So I'm here to defend the pimps. All right? Because we're not bad. I'm a feminist. I made a bunch of chicks rich. There ain't a man out there who paid a girl more money than me.
No, between me and you, we made 4 girls millionaires before OnlyFans existed.
Damn.
So when OnlyFans was first launched, I don't know who this crazy drunk bitch who's sitting at Andrew's seat now is. But let me tell you, OnlyFans follow 430 people on Instagram. I'm one of them. Because I started when I was still in the industry, I was running a huge OnlyFans, the management company. So they know who I am. They probably don't know who this girl is. You know,
OnlyFans is a British company.
Oh, indeed. And they know who I am. That's why they follow me. You can check this out right now. You know, call me a liar.
So that's the story. And this is another thing. I'll make one more point. A lot of men talk about how bad it is a girl has OnlyFans, et cetera, et cetera. I know some bad bitches, right? Some beautiful women who have an OnlyFans account and her man is running it and they're making money. And they're in the they're in the Maldives.
Yes.
They're pushing Lambos. Like when I see a girl with an OnlyFans account and I know she has a lot of money, I don't think I think she's married.
Happy
Their
relationship.
man is actually taking their
She's smart.
pictures.
Yeah, for sure.
And taking their videos.
100%.
And messaging the
100%.
And they've been together for years.
And Andrew,
Yeah, you
you
hear that all the
inspired me
time.
Yep.
to do something behind the scenes.
Uh-oh.
I won't say what it is yet,
Uh-oh.
but I'm currently doing it right now. I'll bring it to light soon.
All right.
But thank you, Andrew.
All right,
Thank
cool.
you, thank you, Kristen.
Doing porn.
You inspired me. No, not that.
Get the monster out.
Fresh, are you going to start fighting?
Huh?
Are you going to start fighting?
No, I mean with girls. Like, never mind.
Start doing porn.
No, I'm not.
And I'm your go-to man. Any questions you got, just message me.
Thank you, sir.
anytime.
Thank you, sir.
Don't worry, I know this. Very
So,
well.
ladies, what's your take on that? Number one, in that position, would have you stayed if you flew you in and you saw the other girls there? And then number two, what are your thoughts on pimping? We'll start here.
All the girls are like, whoa, that story was long. What?
No.
Would you have stayed or would you have left me in my hour of need? Or would you have stayed by your man and realized if you work together, you can be a team? Which one is it? Say it into the microphone.
But don't think about him right now.
No,
think
I
about the man you've loved most in your life.
Yeah,
No, I
was
think about that's
yeah.
happened to me right now. Everything that you're talking is happening in my life right now. But
Well, listen, I'll make you more money than he will. So let's just exchange details after this. You know, I'll make you an OnlyFans superstar. So he probably doesn't know what he's doing.
No, everything that you say is like getting into me because I have a manager and he's talking about start doing all the stuff. And I'm considering my mind if I shouldn't do it because of how I feel, you know. So I'm just listening what you're saying.
That is true. There we go. The OnlyFans, 522 followers, and they're following Kristen Tate right there.
A manager of what?
And I bet they don't follow your manager. So, you know, let's talk. Let's talk.
Okay. Cool. What are your thoughts, Miss Ring Girl?
She's looking at me with a little bit of anger. Don't get angry.
Yeah, you know what it is? Some big, strong fighter one day romanced her after a show and it broke her heart. And she's now seeing his face attached to your body, thinking, fuck this guy. That's what's happening. Right? True or false? At least give me a true or false.
I mean, I like his energy.
Okay.
I mean, he's
She's trying
telling
to be
the
nice
truth.
about it.
He's
but-
telling the truth, and like
You
I
respect
like that. Yeah, I do respect that. But about the whole pimping thing.
I don't see. I mean,
I am a bottle girl, but one time this guy had the audacity to tell me, "Hey, let me get your body done for you." Blah blah blah. I'm just like, no, I don't
Worth
want you to
every
own
penny.
my body. Like, sorry, like I just no. I'm sorry, I can buy it myself. I'm
Okay.
just
Good
a
for you.
natural girl for me. But
The
Okay.
audacity. I mean,
yes, the audacity.
okay.
That was Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Chris back there. Okay. All right. So, what about you? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I don't even know because I get it. Like, I get it. He needs help, but I don't know if I want to compromise myself and how I'm feeling to help the guy out.
You know what,
I think
Ayla,
that's
as
where
well.
I draw the line.
I understand that, but let me give you a little bit more context.
I'd rather finesse on my
It's
own.
not to help the guys, to help you.
No,
Sorry,
no more contact.
finesse on your own didn't exist back then. Only
Finesse on your own.
platform.
Finesse
It
on
did
your
not
own.
exist.
Finesse on your own doesn't exist now because it's small. It's small money. I'm talking about big money.
This
And
is prior to OnlyFans, ladies.
and back
Oh,
then,
okay.
and back then, it wasn't really compromising yourself. Like I said, it's like rubbish cameras. It wasn't really a thing. That's the first thing.
People wouldn't find
not like
you
your
on
butt
these
ass
People
obscure
wouldn't find you.
websites.
You didn't have Instagram. Like it was all that. And secondly, I didn't really approach it from a position of I need help. There's nothing in my life that I approach from a position of weakness. Ever. I don't approach things from weakness, right? You can point a gun to my head. I'm not going to approach it from weakness. I approach it from strength. So I wasn't sitting there going, baby, please help. I need money. No. I was like, listen, I'm your man. So you're going to do as I say. And we're going to run an empire. We're going to get rich.
What's
They're
the
stupid.
percentage you took from them?
All of it.
Oh my!
Why would they need money? I need money. What are you talking about? How them need money? They live.
Oh my god!
Listen,
I love it.
They lived with me. They get to live in a nice
You're
big
so
house.
honest. I love it.
They lived to give it a nice big house. I took care of them in every way. And once they worked for me for a few years, I looked after them. And when they retired, I'll tell you the truth. When they retired, I gave one of them across her career. She worked for 7 years and she made $5.5 million. And when she retired, I gave her.
I'm gonna help you get some girls.
No, I understand.
That's what I'm
She
gonna do.
wants to
I'm
be
gonna
a
help
pimp.
you grow
I
the
understand her
business.
point. I understand her point.
She wants to be the pimp. She doesn't want to
you-
be.
you
Yeah,
wanna
but she said that she's a
But-
wifey earlier.
So let's talk in pimp.
Yeah.
Let's
No,
talk.
listen, this is hypothetical.
Let's talk in pimp.
That's not what I'm saying that I'm gonna do.
Let's
This is
talk in-
hypothetical. This is me putting myself in that situation.
Let's
Is what
talk.
I'm trying to say.
Let's talk in pimp language. So what you're because there's a language
Which
to the
is where
game.
you're asking, you're telling me to place myself in that situation. That's why I'm talking like that.
But earlier we talked about not caring what your man is doing if you're the main one. So how can you care? You can't build with someone. Y'all just told me earlier that building is non-existent. So you can't sit here and tell him, oh, you have to tell me what we're doing with these girls. No, you have to be on their level until he makes a decision that you're higher than anyone else. That's how I look at it. If you're trying to be any type of wifey. But you can't have both.
Guy,
Yeah, you
okay,
cannot.
but I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about this specific situation.
We are. And we are.
Are we talking
I
about in
understand what
general?
you're
Are we
saying.
talking
No.
about how we feel? Or are we talking
No,
about
I
like,
understand.
this situation?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
I understand your point, right? So and what's actually interesting is if you want to look at because I kept getting called a pimp. I really never thought of myself as a pimp. I was purely a businessman. But in the pimp world, in the pimp language, they have something called a bottom bitch, and that's their number one girl, and that's the number one girl that runs all the other girls. So when you're saying you take me to the side and me and you, we run these girls, that's how most pimps do it. Even the guys on the street, they have their number one chick who they can trust. That's their number one girl they can say, give instructions to, and she helps him run all the other girls.
Yeah.
So, and for a long period of my webcam business, I did have one girl who I trusted the most, and me and her were a team, and we ran all the other girls. That is how it ended up. But at the very, very beginning, with these two girls, how am I going to know who's more dedicated to the task? I don't know.
Right.
It's kind of like Hunger Games. Within 6 months, it was clear, right? But at the beginning of it, I was new to the business like anyone else, right? But after 6 months, most of my empire was run with me, and there was one chick who I could really trust, and I trusted her in every single way, and it was me and her running all of it. So it is what you're saying is very, very possible. The idea of a man and a woman, and they work together, and then there's all these other girls, but it's a business, and they're a team, and blah blah blah. So I understand exactly what you're saying.
Right.
It did get that way.
I'm not saying that I'm okay with it. I'm not saying that I would be that girl that stands by you to support you. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm putting myself in that situation. If you want me to be different, then you have to put me in a different situation.
Makes sense.
But he is saying that that girl will be put in a different situation because
Right.
she's higher on the totem pole than the other women.
Right.
She's going to be the first one to get like the rewards when the fruits of the labor.
She has to.
come in.
Okay, I'll be
You know what I'm
fair.
saying?
There was a competition between two girls for a while, but it didn't last long. That's kind of how it worked, right? That's kind of how it worked. I think one of them bowed out pretty early. One of them got arrogant about it and said, I don't want to compete. And then she lost.
Ever seen that scene in The Dark Knight when the Joker breaks the pool stick in half and drops one in the middle?
Yeah.
That's what
The
the
Dark
early days.
Knight.
That's what
The
the early
Dark
days felt
Knight.
like.
That's my
what the early
favorite.
days felt like.
My favorite movie.
With all you hoes. No.
So, all right. So we'll turn to ladies. You guys get a chance to grill us now. Do any of the ladies have a question or comment or disagreement or anything on that?
Last thoughts?
Anything
I
at
have a
all?
question.
Last thoughts? Any questions?
Go ahead,
I have a
Bianca.
question.
Go ahead.
Okay. So
Like the video, by the way, guys, please.
Sub to the channel, guys.
Because I look, sub to the channel. There's 11,000 plus y'all in here. Like the video, sub to the channel, guys. Do us that favor.
7.K likes.
Yeah, 7.K. If y'all could get us a 10K like,
That'd be dope, man.
I will fucking love you guys because that's gonna push this video. You guys are gonna be able to see this on the newsfeed.
Trending.
Those two bimbos are whatever. Like they're gonna look dumb.
Smoke.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we'll do that later on. Okay, but go ahead.
okay. So considering that you guys have been with a bunch of different girls.
No. I told you earlier. Told you I was a man
of God. Man of God. Open him, man of God.
Man of God.
Man of God.
Man of God.
Amen.
I'm sorry she said that, Jesus. Don't listen to her.
Where's the holy water?
What's the scene?
Says the person that says that they would get with the ring girls right after their fight.
When I get with, I meant read the Bible. We were playing card games.
Okay, you have a lot of diversity. You have a lot of different women coming at you. What would set a girl apart for you to see her differently? That's my question.
That's a good question.
Good question.
That's a good question. And I think at the point in my life now, if I were dating and I was trying to find a new girl, I'd be looking for so many tiny things. You know what? Like they say, in the eyes of an amateur, there's many possibilities, but in the eye of the expert, there's few. Right. So like if you're a boxer and you're an amateur, it's chaotic. But if you're a professional, it's pretty simple. It's left or right. You know what to look for. So I feel like, because I'm an old man, 35 today, I kind of feel like I know what to look for, and I'd be looking for a billion tiny little things. So if I let's say I'm dating a new girl and I walk into a high-end restaurant and some guy or someone or some girl, oh hi, and she's like, oh hi, did a instant red flag. Why the fuck? Why do you know this bitch in this restaurant? How many times you been in this restaurant? who's that?
A
Bitch?
red flag.
Who's that bitch? Who's this dude? I don't blame the women. It's the pussy ass dude that puts up with it. We all set our own boundaries in life, right? If you're gonna go out there and act in a certain way, and dudes are gonna tolerate it, then why would you change? Absolutely. I understand these girls are doing what they're doing, and they're still getting so much attention. Why would they stop? They don't give a shit. She's sitting here saying she sucked endless dick. She can go out and get fucked tonight. So why would she stop?
Right now.
So why would she stop? So is that her fault or the dude's fault? It's the dude's fault. I blame all the fucking simps. It's the dudes who are doing all this stuff.
Yeah, I once saw a video on Twitter of like a 450-pound woman talking about, oh, when God made me, he blessed me with all these bountiful curves. And I got quite big. I made a splash on Twitter before I lost my second account because I retweeted it. I said, you know whose fault this is? All the dudes who are fucking her. If she wasn't getting, sorry, American women. If a woman that size was living in the country I live in, she wouldn't be so confident because no one's hitting her up. No one's in her DMs. No one's trying to have sex with her.
She was bedbound.
Yeah, she was like disabled. Bitch.
We all like curvy, but like bedbound's a different.
No, that was it was an exertion to stand up and make that little TikTok video. And I'm telling you, but someone's dicking her right now. Someone's dicking her, and that's where the confidence comes from. So we blame men. We don't blame the women.
There you go.
Why would you?
That was a good question. Any more questions? I like these questions. This is fun. I realize how much I know. Come on, let's go. What else?
Ladies? Anybody else or no?
I have a question.
Sure. Or a comment.
So I'm still trying to understand. So why, when it comes to cheating, why can't the man have enough balls or be mature enough to bring that to the attention of his partner? Because me, being bisexual, I would much rather my boyfriend or husband to approach me in a situation so I can fucking join in.
Hey, well, yeah, that's a good question.
But which man? Because I am like that.
Yeah.
So, but which man? You're talking about 99% of men with all the hiding and all the pussy ass. I as a joke last week, because my cousin was so afraid of getting caught doing what he was doing. He was like, oh, well, if she finds out. I, as a joke last week, invited 8 girls who I read the Bible with to the same party at my house with no other people. Just to prove a point to him. I lost 2, but I was like, you're all here. I know all of you. This is the situation. And I always try to be like that. Because I don't want anyone living under any.
But transparency. The transparency is important. But there's ways to do transparency, right?
Yeah.
So Here's how I would, if I was not a man of God and a virgin, which I am because I'm a man of God. If I wasn't a man of God, here's how I'd approach it. I'd never go out and bang a chick and come home to my girlfriend and say, "Hey, baby, banged a chick," because I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah,
I don't think that's necessary. She doesn't really want to hear it. It's not
they know.
Right.
They don't. I just do what I do. But if she caught me, I'd try and hide it the best of my ability.
See, I don't want to catch anybody because I'm crazy. I'm gonna end up in jail.
No,
So
but
just tell me ahead of time.
No, but if you said, "Who's this girl?" I'd be like, well, I slept with her a couple weeks ago. Is what it is. I wouldn't lie about it, but I definitely wouldn't be coming home saying, "Hey, I did this, that," because I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah.
But if I got caught, I'd be like, "Yeah, this bitch, whatever."
I don't think she's meaning
No.
post though. I think she means pre.
Tell
like,
me
hey, I'm going
before
to
it
Mexico.
happens.
I'm gonna sleep with.
Majority of the
I
people
got-
are not okay with that.
I got an
Majority of the
answer for
women
that.
are not okay with that, and they're probably afraid of losing you.
Yeah.
if
I
they're
would
gonna
much
be honest
rather
with
be
you.
okay with my man telling me, mentally being prepared and
Stop
joining
the
in if
cap.
I want to, than to him just me up and finding out about it and
Yeah.
me getting upset
And
about
that's
it.
very
But
mature.
you're
and
different.
That's
hurting
very
him
mature.
physically. Like, I don't have confidence.
That's very mature. The reason most men lie is because they're afraid of losing the girl.
Majority of the women are not okay with it.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Majority of
But
the
y'all
women
are
wanna-
okay with people cheating on
Hold
you.
on, Maya had a
Makes sense.
response.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, simply put, like the reality is two things. They're scared of losing a girl, and then the other issue is that informed his decision on what you want to do with the said man.
And that's what that's why I like Fresh and Fit. I just want to say, so every episode I've watched of this podcast, you got usually high value or at least beautiful women talking with high value men, and they discuss these things, and people are watching this, mind blown. But what you have to understand is 99% of society isn't anything that we're talking about. It's women pimping dudes.
Bam.
That's 99% of society. So Fresh and Fit brings a different kind of perspective to the conversation, because there's always high value dudes and beautiful women. That's not the way the world works. Every man you see out there buying groceries in Walmart, his ugly, fat 2 out of 10 wife is at home sucking the neighbor's dick, and men get screwed over day after day.
Yeah, men lose
all the time.
Men lose
all the time.
We talk. No, that's true. It's a good point. All the time. You talk about. Everyone talks about men being bad, but you have 1% of men. You have 1% of men, maybe 2% out here can be playboys. The majority of men are desperate to get anything they can get, and they'll do anything they can to hold on to it. There are more men who are lonely, suicidal. A woman will never truly be lonely. No matter how unattractive, how ugly your personality is, you can always get dick. There are men out here who are genuinely lonely. You don't understand the struggle of a man, because women want the best men in the world. You want the best men in the world. And as much as you will sit and say, "I don't want to cheat," instinctively you will share the best man in the world, as opposed to have Joe Schmo. That's why these girls will go out and they'll fuck Chris Brown. They think Chris Brown's fucking loyal?
These hoes ain't loyal.
They don't care. They don't care. They're like, but he's Chris Brown. They don't, him being loyal doesn't cross their mind. So the truth about the biology of men and women, the truth about the biology is that for the longest period of human time, women shared top-tier males. The king had 100 wives, and the peasant men had 0. This is how we've been evolved. For the longest period of human time, women have literally evolved to look at a guy and go, "You know what? That dude's worth sharing." And as much as you can deny that and say that the modern world's taught you different and you're independent, blah, 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 your biology deep down operates on that level. Otherwise, you wouldn't be chasing these sports stars. They're married. They're married. When you see a famous rapper, he's got chicks. You care? No, you don't care.
Drake.
This is the reality of the game. So when we talk about all these things, we make men sound bad. Tristan nailed it. The majority of men out here they can't do anything besides live a life and pray their chick doesn't just leave them for someone better.
Bam.
If you're working in KFC, you're a pretty normal dude. And the problem with being a normal dude is that now your chick fucks normal dudes, which means everybody's competition. So what?
If she goes to eat at KFC, you're gonna be worried, because the KFC dude can get your girl.
She might go Burger King or Wendy's, and boom, you lost her, right? So it's different at the top as a man, but this is a very, very unique experience. And when we say things, we know that we can sometimes grate on your chicks, etc. But you need to understand that overall, women are winning this war. You women run the world.
Yeah, you're killing us.
You run the world. Yeah. You run the world. And the majority of men are just cucked out for their chick, praying for a bit of pussy once a year. So you women are running. You women are running it. You are running it.
I say it all the time. Women are running circles around guys, which is why the popularity of this podcast has exploded, because there's no YouTube channels out there teaching women how to get guys, but there's a bunch of channels out there teaching guys how to get girls, because for women, you guys play it on easy mode. Tristan, you have something? I saw you wanted to say something.
I was just saying, when we used to run our webcam studio, I know this full well, and we know how sad men are because we saw it firsthand. You keep in mind, these guys think they're talking to a girl alone in her bedroom. There's me, 4 female members of staff, and Andrew sitting behind 40 different live streams, watching every single one. And you think all these guys are saying, hey, get naked, show us your boobs, show us your tits. No, these guys are crying their eyes out. I should never have married my wife. Oh, I wish I had a beautiful woman like you. My wife won't even have sex with me anymore. I can't divorce her because I'll lose the kids. And it's therapy. I've had to, I swear on my father's grave, I've had to coach admins on talking dudes out of killing themselves or
Damn.
threatening suicide on webcam.
Yep.
So I've seen the dark side of the male reality. And of course, it's paying people like me, and we make millions of dollars from it because we're the tiny percentage that can harness that female energy and use it for our benefit. But it destroys men out in the real world.
Yeah, in the real world, men are
Destroys
getting
them.
wrecked. Men are getting wrecked.
Right.
And here's the thing, and this is such a refreshing conversation because I've always said it, girls don't really care about your struggles, man. They just pick the best guys. It is what it is. And
It is
we're not
true.
here to have a pity party. We're not here to do
No,
that.
I know.
We're just here to give you guys another perspective that you might not know and or understand or can't understand, which is fair. Like, who cares? Women don't give a fuck about losers, and it's been that way. What, Andrew? What, like 40% of men have procreated since the beginning of time?
Since the beginning of time, women have never
40%?
fucked losers.
Yeah.
Since the dawn of time. Listen, if you were living in caveman days, what would happen is you're chilling. You're chilling with your man. You look in the distance. You look in the distance. You say, Ooga. Is that Tate? Ooga booga. I rock up with a club. Take your whole tribe out. Aikido, all 10 of them motherfuckers. I beat them all by myself. You become mine now. Now, you may be angry about it for about 15 minutes, but when you look around and see all them dead motherfuckers, you'd be like, you know what?
Bing bong.
He is the G.
And you,
He is the G. And you win.
And you
That's
can't
it.
hunt. And you can't hunt.
You
and
can't live without
fish.
man.
So you better hang out with the big G.
That's right. So that's how it's always been. This is why the kings and the warriors had all these women. Right?
Bing bong.
And even now, you instinctively want an alpha. You talked about security. Security means that he can mess up a dude who tries to mess with you.
Yep.
That's it. If you saw the guy you trusted with security get his ass whooped, you wouldn't say
I'm
with him.
leaving.
Yeah,
I'm leaving. It's embarrassing.
This is human nature. So this goes all the way back. This is a perfect circle back to the very beginning of this podcast when I said, if you want a man who has everything, you have to accept there's probably going to be a degree of infidelity. I'm not saying he should treat you like shit. I'm not saying you shouldn't be number one. I'm not saying you shouldn't be special. I'm not saying he should take the piss and go too far. But if you want a man with every single quality, it's in his biology to a degree to not be loyal to you, because men of that caliber have never been loyal since the dawn of human fucking time.
Bam.
Yeah, we're
Ever.
animals.
And if you're going to be with a man like
Men
that,
with men,
yeah,
always.
so you can go get any one of you beautiful girls can go out there and get Joe Schmo tomorrow, and he'll be as loyal as you could ever hope for. He'll give you his phone password. He'd never talk to another girl. He'll get down on one knee in a few months and start begging, please marry me, like a little punk.
Instead, you're sitting here tonight
You're sitting here
on the Fresh and Fit podcast.
Out here.
Case closed.
Instead, you're going to be rolling in a Lambo with some dude, and 6 months into the relationship, you'll be like, what do you think of marriage? You'll be like, don't believe in marriage.
Fresh.
And you'll be like,
Congrats, by the way.
and you'll be
Thanks,
like,
bro.
you'll be like, okay, where are we going tonight? And you're going to go and have your fucking nice night. So that's your choice. And that's your choice, which is biologically driven. And the sooner you look in the mirror and understand that your biology is speaking to you to accept certain things, the sooner you can accept them and be a happier individual. Because I'm telling you, you can have a very happy relationship with a very high quality man who occasionally fucks some pussy, and everyone can get the fuck over it, and everyone can be happy.
Bam.
That's how it goes.
So I have a question. Yeah, I have a quick
Wait,
question.
wait. Let other girls
say
have questions.
something.
Do you guys have anything you want to add?
No, I want to say something. So, like the 1%, I get it. I understand they are high value,
Yes.
and like it comes with conditions. But is there a happy medium between the loser that you guys talk about and the 1%? Because honestly, not everybody can handle 1% type of guy. Not everybody can handle
Agreed.
those conditions. So
Agreed.
therefore, a lot of women out here are not fucking with the 1%.
Agreed. I agreed with you 100%. And yes, I would say there is a happy medium. But if you're going to be a woman with the happy medium kind of guy, you also have to be strong enough and woman enough to accept that you're going to go through your life seeing better dudes. And you're going to have to make sure you don't go anywhere fucking near him. But if you're going to look and say, look, I've got a guy, he's good enough, but he's loyal to me, that dude on every single possible human metric probably outperforms my man. But you know what? Fuck it. This guy, he's been good to me. If you can do that, good. But most women don't think that way. Most women don't operate on that way. They operate in shit. I know him from TV. He's this, he's that. Fuck it.
But
It's a different programming. Look, we talk about losers and stuff. Low-level guys still get laid and they still get girlfriends. We're just saying that their relationships aren't worth having. That's what I'm saying.
And I want to say this too. Oh, go ahead, Andrew.
Because they're not attractive.
Andrew, you have something else before I was
No, carry on.
I was just going to say the most destructive advice is what those two girls gave y'all earlier, which is, well, he went around and fucked a bunch of girls, so I should be able to run around and fuck a bunch of guys. And that's probably some of the most destructive advice you can get. And a lot of modern day women subscribe to that. City Girls, Nicki Minaj, etc., Cardi B. But it's kind of funny to me because Cardi B now is married and she's not doing any of that fuck shit.
Cooking and
Beyonce,
cleaning
you know
behind the scenes.
You know what I'm saying?
Offset recorded her.
Yeah.
And she didn't want her little baby watching her videos at all.
Yeah. So even though women say that, you know, it sounds good to say, fuck niggas, get money, blah, blah, blah. I'm here to get a bag, whatever.
Cope.
It's not, it's cope. And not only that, women are not programmed to sport fuck their way around multiple guys. They're just not. Men can do it without an issue. Women can't though. So when women give that advice, it's extremely destructive because you might lose a guy that's worth something. It's by sucking off some other guy that isn't on his level. Now you lost access to that guy with girlfriend privileges. Now you're gonna go back to
and it's you're completely Myron nailed it. And also another point that's really important. It's not even just about losing guys, etc. I will stick by this point. A woman cannot sport fuck her way through life without taking psychological damage.
Damn.
You will be psychologically damaged if you just start fucking dudes here, there, and everywhere. And once again, this goes back to your biology. Look, you have to look at humans in two different ways. We have the societal version of the human, which is how society teaches us, and we have the evolutionary biological version of the human, how we've evolved to be. If a woman had sex with a man, there was a strong chance you'd get pregnant. If you got pregnant, you would die without a man, right? This is in the caveman days, right? You needed a man, you got pregnant, you need someone to fucking hunt and stuff.
Millennia programming.
This is programming. So your programming was, if you had sex with a man, to be attached to him. You want him near, you want him close, you want him around you, right? Because he has to protect you. You might be pregnant. The idea that you can run around now and sleep with all these dudes and feel zero emotional attachment to any of them ever is hard cope. That's you trying to trick your brain and watch enough new age crap. You can run around and fuck a bunch of guys and it's not going to affect you emotionally in any way. The saddest, most miserable women of the world are women who are sluts. All of them. They are unhappy. They're unhappy because there's something inside of them that they know it's wrong. They know it's wrong. They don't feel right within themselves. I know girls who slept with one or two dudes, and maybe the dude they're with, maybe he ain't perfect, maybe he does this, does that, maybe he cheats, whatever. But they look at their man with such admiration because they haven't had enough dicks to lose that old school pure. Remember when you were in love when you were 15? That shit's still alive for them chicks. And that's why a low body count is important for a girl. A man's completely different. We're dark triad.
Selena tries to shame them for having. You guys are all pick-me's. Sluts always shame girls that have low counts.
When I heard this girl talking shit, so I was behind the scenes. I wasn't even on this.
You came late.
I was listening to this girl talk.
Yeah,
I always do. So, when I was listening to this girl talking her nonsense on this podcast, she was like, "Yeah, you know, I could be the girl who gets money, and you know, you're the girl who's stuck at home, blah blah blah." But here's the thing: look, men and women, we all get old. Time is the fire in which we all burn. And I'm telling you, the woman who she's making fun of for staying home while she's in the club, when she's, I mean, how old was she? 41.
She's like 28.
It doesn't matter. Here's my point. Give her 7 more years.
Yeah.
7 more years, and she's going to be lonely.
5
with lower and lower quality men. The woman she's laughing at, who is at home, will be older and uglier and less attractive, and so will her man, because that's what happens to people. We all age. But that woman will be with 2 kids. She's not going to be thinking, I need a bag. Her husband's taking care of her. She's got her 2 beautiful children, and she's living a life that is worth living for a 40-year-old, a 45-year-old, and a 50-year-old woman. Then she gets her grandkids, and her progression of being a woman through life continues. This girl is going to burn out. And if she somehow does manage to get pregnant from somebody and tricks his ass, he ain't gonna want nothing to do with her. There's no happy family life. There's no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for this kind of setup. So yeah, in the short term, she's in the club and the other girl isn't. But give that 10 years and look at your situation honestly, and tell me who's happy and who isn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Yo, man, and I want to say this too because the other girl was like, I was like, because you said, oh, I broke up with my guy, and I said, oh, that's not the smartest thing. You want to get married young, and the other girl, the weird chick, she was like, well, why? Like, you're not married right now, and I'm like, Jesus, man, like with women, like men age. If men do the work, we age like wine. If women, even if y'all do the work, you're still going to lose value as you get older. I hate to say it. Like a woman that's 35 that's attractive is never going to be able to compete with a woman that's 25 and attractive. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Like men like youth and beauty, just like you want a guy that's tall and has money. So when she said that, I was like, this is destructive advice that modern day women give each other, like, oh, just push back marriage. It's okay. No big deal. And it's like, no, bro, you can't compete. Mother nature gives you your gifts. Father time takes them away as a woman. That's the reality.
That's kind of like the conversation that we were having a few months ago, where it was the older you get as a woman, the more your chances dwindle of having of being married,
your negotiating power goes down.
Having a child,
your negotiating power,
because
your leverage goes down.
Right. Nobody's gonna want to have a kid with you when you're 36. Or want to marry.
If you even want to bring a kid, it'll be tough.
It's like your chances of being married at or getting married at 36 and having a kid dwindle versus being 25. You know what I mean? And getting married.
Just to wrap up on this point, do you know how I know that women instinctively know that a low body count is beneficial? Because have you ever seen a chick and a chick argue? You know what? Do you know what the first thing a woman calls a woman she doesn't like?
Slut.
You're a fucking slut. You're a hoe.
You're a hoe.
So now having a bunch of dick is bad because you don't like that girl. So, but then you're a city girl. I like a bunch of dick. So women know instinctively that being a slut ain't a great thing.
Damn,
they
son,
know
where'd you find this?
Okay, super chats and then last thoughts here.
Yeah, no, the IQ of the conversation went up significantly after those girls left.
I have a question though.
That was me joining.
I'll read these, Bianca, and then you can go.
Yeah.
Okay, and
media and the government, especially in the UK, trying to ban me and convince the world that I'm the devil and that I'm evil. And at the same time, everyone's saying I'm doing such good things. And it's certainly highlighted to me exactly how the mainstream establishment works and how scared they are of making men and people motivated in general. Because when you're a motivated individual, you pay attention to the things around you and you're not laying down ready to accept the slave programming. It happened the other day. I think it was yesterday. Some idiot from Leeds, I think, with a gun intended on shooting up a mall or something ridiculous. And the mainstream news article was Andrew Tate fan intends on. I've never even met this guy.
Manipulate it in a way where it's down to you, sort of thing.
Well, of course, they're going to say anyone who does anything bad who follows me on Twitter is an Andrew Tate fan. 8.8 million people follow me on Twitter. I'm sure if someone crashes their car, they're not going to say Taylor Swift fan crashed her car.
Yeah, no,
they don't care, right? You could be listening to Taylor Swift driving your car as you plow into a tree, and they're not going to mention it. But it's crazy how the whole establishment works, and I know my message is good, and I know that I'm helping people. But the scary thing is when you go deeper down the rabbit hole, you understand that that's why they dislike me.
But how would you say it's shaped your life and your mentality?
You know the best thing about Islam? The best thing about Islam is how simple it is because there's wrong and right.
It's a simple religion.
It's wrong and right. I mean, you look at other religions and it's also subjective now.
Yeah.
And that's why I've said many times on different podcasts that it's the last true religion. If you don't have a strong barrier, if you don't have a yes and a no, you don't have a religion. If you tolerate everything, you stand for nothing. And if you believe in God and you say, I believe in God, but I'm not a Muslim, I'm going to say, okay, that's fine. You're a Christian. What is Christianity anymore? What does it mean? You can go to a Christian country, and America, let's take, for example, and you'll get in more trouble for insulting George Floyd than you will for insulting Jesus Christ.
Yeah, for sure.
You can walk down walk down the street with a T-shirt saying Jesus is gay. Girls barely go to church. If they do, who knows what they were doing the night before? None of it means anything. And then if you go and find a Christian that says this trans person has changed gender, what do you think about that? Christians are so soft, they're going to go, well, I hope he finds redeem, and I hope he finds guidance. Haram, bro. Haram. No, you didn't. It's haram. And I like that it's yes and no. And what's the point in a religion if you're too afraid to say what you believe in, or afraid to stick up for it, or afraid to defend it? Then what's the point in any of it? So I feel like it's the last true religion. I feel like it's the last religion on the planet. And it's kind of interesting because since my reversion, I've had lots of conversations with the right-wing conservatives who were upset by my reversion as if I cared. And a lot of them said to me, oh yeah, but it's a Christian country. We need to restore Christianity to England or wherever. And they don't seem to understand that the basic law of the universe is that power vacuums get filled. This is the basic law of the universe. If a tiger arrives in a brand new habitat and there's no other predators, it's going to destroy and eat all the rabbits and it's going to take over.
Facts.
anyone who's in the West who's concerned about the spread of Islam should be more worried about the absolute fall of Christianity. The reason people revert to Islam is because they're looking for God and they can't find God anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's Christianity's fault for being so weak and decadent.
Yeah, we were discussing this as well as a group earlier on, and we were like, the UK majority of it is a Muslim, population. So it's gone past the point where it's now deemed as a Christian country because there's more Muslims than Christians in the first place.
This is the Islamic Republic of Great Britistan, and the thing about it, but the thing about it is, it's not even about numbers. It's about strength of belief. If you wake up and you want to truly live a religious life, and you want to feel like you have religious conviction, and you want to feel the fraternity of a religious life, and you want to have the boundaries and constraints of a religious life, you're going to be attracted to Islam. You're not going to be attracted to Christianity because you can wake up and say, I'm a Christian, and nothing changes.
Yeah.
Nothing changes and nobody cares. And that is Christians' fault. So I've had a lot of people complain at me as if, like I said, as if my personal choices are something I should... I mean, it's kind of, I'm self-analyzing as I talk here. I find it very, very interesting that Christians look at Islam as a threat as opposed to just understanding that it is a massive power vacuum because Christianity feels godless and you do not feel God in Christianity anymore. And that's the reason that people are so attracted to Islam. That's the reason I was attracted to it, because I respect it. How can you believe in something you don't respect? I don't know, and that's a general question for anything. You have to respect it. You have to look at the creeds and say, okay, I respect that. I respect how they defend their religion. I respect how they're black and white on certain issues. I respect all of these things. Also, it's kind of interesting because if you want to measure the success of a religion, you can measure it in regards to how many people follow it, or like you just said in the UK, or how fast it's growing. But I think the number one measure of success for a religion is how well it preserves the sanctity of a society. I think that if you want to say, is this a successful religion? Well, then you'd look at the society which it governs and say, are the creeds of the religion being adhered to by the society that it governs? I would argue that most Islamic countries have an Islamic feel. I would argue you'd avoid a lot of the LGBT garbage. You'll avoid a lot of the woke insanity. You'll avoid a lot of the feminism, which has destroyed the West, and all these things, because Islam is being adhered to and it's keeping the society functioning. Do I go to Christian countries and feel like Christianity is preserving them? Not really.
What about true hardcore following Christians? I'll give you an example. Obviously, you're just coming off the back of doing a podcast with George Janko.
Yep.
Now, I love that podcast purely because you guys was talking about religion, you being a Muslim, and he seems like, I haven't met him obviously, but a true following Christian.
Yep.
And it's funny because when I see a true following Christian, it's like you're so close to Islam, but you're just a couple of places where you're going wrong.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I was like, shout out to George, because one day, you never know, man could be Muslim himself.
Well, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Christians must feel a deep resentment towards Muslims, especially the true believers, because we stick up for what we believe in, and they want to, but they can't because their own religion has become so woke and almost betrayed them. How can you stand up and say, I'm a Christian and I mean it, and you better, when they have gay preachers? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And your fellow Christians will turn on you and call you a bigot. Your fellow Christians will call you a bigot and call you hateful for saying that a man shouldn't chop his dick off. And then you're going to sit there and say, I'm a true Christian.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
So all the Christians I speak to who truly believe, and I've spoken to a lot of them, they are very envious of Islam. And then I'm like, well, then what's the delay? But they feel like an affinity to Christianity because they were raised with Christianity or they're born Christian, and perhaps they see Islam as a Middle Eastern religion, which is kind of interesting because Christianity is a Middle Eastern religion.
Yeah.
They're from the same place.
Yeah, they all spiral they stem from the same country as the Middle East.
I read somewhere that only 18% of Muslims are even Arab. I think the largest, there's obviously a huge black proportion, and Indonesia is a massively Islamic country. Malaysia.
I think Islam just crossed over 3.5 billion Muslims globally. Wow. That's more than half the population of the world.
If you believe in God, I don't see how you cannot be a Muslim. I just don't see the attraction to any other religion that makes any kind of sense. And you can also look at this, and this is why I'm careful to discuss this subject, because I don't want to get in trouble with people who know more than me, but you can also look at this from the ideological and the theologian standpoint in regards to what happens after we die, and superpowers and Allah and Muhammad, peace be upon him, and all these things that we don't quite understand. But you can also discuss it right here on earth with what you see, like I said about preserving the sanctity of a society. So you sit and say, okay, well, if you're Christian, how is Christianity saving your children from the oncoming enslavement? How is your Christianity saving your children from the slave mind programming? How is Christianity protecting you? How is Christianity helping your neighbors? How is Christianity preserving anything? Whereas Islam, it's kind of interesting because someone else said this who was smarter than I, and I can't remember where I heard it from, but they said whenever you see a post-apocalyptic Christian society in a movie, it's just the purge and everyone's out to kill each other. When the meteors hit or whatever and America's under attack, there's snipers on the roof and everyone's trying to get food and everyone's struggling. Whereas if you look at a post-apocalyptic Islamic society, which exists right now, the matriarchy we live under, and it's very purposeful and it's kind of scary. I was talking to a friend the other day and he was saying, so your charges are you were nice to a girl and asked her to do TikTok and keep the money. I said, no, I didn't ask her to do anything. I was nice to a girl who had a TikTok account and they're saying I stole the money from the TikTok account. They have no proof of this. And he said, bro, I know loads of guys who are nice to girls and buy them handbags. Every girl in Dubai is human trafficked. I was like, well, that's the exact point.
Yeah.
No one's not human trafficked now. So everyone's human trafficked. And the true objective of all of this insanity and the reason they attacked me, I don't know if you knew this, but I was arrested on the same day that Jeffrey Epstein had a huge break in his case.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Type in human trafficking and it's only Andrew Tate. It doesn't say anything about Jeffrey Epstein's
Damn.
case. The same people who were on Jeffrey Epstein's island are saying I'm dangerous and my ideas are dangerous and I'm a human trafficker because I have girls who I know who have TikTok accounts.
Yeah.
And they found messages between me and the girls when the girls said, I want to get famous on TikTok.
Yeah.
You're famous on TikTok. How do I get famous on TikTok? I said, post it this time, post it this time, post it this time. Human trafficking. The whole point of this insanity is that everybody is guilty all of the time. And I don't think most people at home watching this understand if you are a red-blooded male in the world today, you are guilty of crimes. And if they come and they get your phone and they look through it, you are guilty. The time you said to your wife, I'll be home soon, is dinner ready, is controlling behavior. The time you sold your phone without paying taxes. The time you recorded yourself driving, breaking the speed limit. The time they'll get your phone and they will wreck you. And by the time they put those 8 cases together, you hire a lawyer, you're on bail, you go to trial, and they waste 3 years of your life. They bankrupt you.
Yep.
And you're stuck in this legal quagmire of lawfare. And it's kind of interesting that most people don't seem to understand. When this happened to me, I kept saying on podcasts before it happened, they're going to arrest me. My second life, they're going to get me.
You kept saying the three strikes and
3
you're out.
strikes. I said, first they try and cancel you. If that fails, they put you in jail for a bullshit reason. If that fails, they kill you. And I said, they're going to arrest me. And I kept warning everyone. And then it came and people are like, why don't you just get a lawyer? And how stupid do you have to be to think that you just get a lawyer? It's a matrix attack. It's a clown world attack. The whole point is that everybody's guilty of everything all the time. And nobody who's been inside the legal system, if you haven't been through the quagmire of it yet, you don't understand exactly how guilty you are. I guarantee you, every single person watching this right now, if they get hold of your mobile phone and they get the password, they will find charges.
Yeah, they can build something against you.
Of course they can.
Yeah.
They can see the other phones you were in a vicinity with. You could be walking through the mall and you walk past a drug dealer at the wrong time. That's enough for them.
Yep.
They will get something and they will wreck you. And if you're not changing your phone once a month, well, then you're walking around with criminal charges in your pocket. And this is the reality of it. So if you ever get too large, if you ever say things they don't like, because your ability to speak freely is directly correlated with your insignificance. You're only allowed to speak freely if no one listens. If people listen, then you have to be a lot more careful with what you say. Then they come along, they get your phone, and they find any excuse they can to charge you. And what did they do with me? They found me giving timings to girls who have TikTok accounts saying, well, if you post it this time, you'll get more views. And they charged me with human trafficking. The people who were on Epstein's island then used a media machine. The people who were on Epstein's island used a media machine.
It literally
That
happened.
3 times.
It happened recently as well with Epstein's Island thing. There was a whole thing that came out about it, and I can't remember what it was, the article that they covered it up with. But literally, anything just gets swiped under the rug.
The people who were on Epstein's island used the media machine to convince everyone at home that I'm a human trafficker because I said what time to post on TikTok to some friends who said they were not human trafficked. The girls themselves are saying we're not human trafficked. This is insane. Let him go. So it's a matrix attack, and you have to understand that you live under a system in which the government will pretend they protect you, but truthfully, the government is out for itself, and the government is aiming to get forever and endless control of your life. Every single government's objective is some form of communism where they control everything. They don't care about the prosperity. They don't care about making money. These things are kind of a illusion. Many people say, oh yeah, but you know, the government wouldn't do that because they need people to have businesses. They need people to make money. They print the money. They make up the money. And they don't care if you starve because they'll always eat. If they cared about money, why was everyone locked in their house? Why did everyone's business get closed during COVID if they cared about money? No, they never cared about money. They don't care. What they care about is control. And not enough people go to sleep at night realizing that every day you wake up, the government makes new laws. Has the government ever taken a law away? When's the last time the government said, we have too many laws, give me the book, let's throw some of this trash away? No, every day there's new ones. And if you make new laws every single day, you're eventually heading towards slavery. That's the end goal of it, is slavery.
Yep.
And we're not far off slavery now. I think a lot of people don't realize that the idea of slavery is we're going to get somebody, force them to work, leave them in a house that we've given them and give them some food, and we're going to force them to work. But doing that is extremely difficult. It's actually not efficient because you have to force someone to do a job they don't want to do, which is very hard to do.
Yep.
You have to stop them running away. You need an army. You need a fence. It's very difficult. It's actually much easier to pay them a little bit of money, and they spend all that money on their house and their food, and they believe they have free will. And now they don't realize they're a slave anymore. Because if you're a slave, you get kidnapped and you get told to work and you get a house and food. If I say, oh, I don't have to kidnap you. Oh, here's a nice opportunity for you. Come do this job. It's an opportunity. And then you work and you spend all your money on a house and food. Now you think you're free and you're actually a slave.
You're still in it.
Of course. And the best prison on earth is going to be the one you don't realize you're in. That's the goal, is to keep the wool over everyone's eyes. Most people don't realize they're in a jail. They wake up at 7 a.m. and they go to a job and they work hard all day and they come home and they have no time for their family and they barely pay their bills and they barely afford to eat and they have no money left at the end of the month and they somehow think they're free. And they sit there and they watch the news and the news lies to them and they got vaccine in their arm and they can't fly anywhere because they can't afford it or if their boss will give them leave.
Yep.
And they somehow believe they're free. You're a slave.
They believe they're free when their boss signs annual leave. That freedom. You ain't enough freedom.
It's absolutely it's slave world. And it's kind of crazy because even when I was in jail, I was talking to Tristan and we were saying this. Most people on the outside are less free than us here in jail.
Yeah.
You know, at least I can feed my family and feed my children. You know, at least I can fly the people I love all around the world at random. You know, it's kind of crazy. But all of these things that are done is to ensure that the controlling class and the elites have as much control over the populace as possible. That's the end goal of it all. And I don't think most people understand that.
I'm interested to know, what was it like for you to be without your kids? Because obviously last time we done a podcast, you didn't reveal you had kids.
Yeah.
But now that you know, people know that you have kids and aware of it, what was it like for you to be without them for so long?
Yeah.
And have you ever been without them for so long on that scale before?
No, never. But I'm lucky they're relatively young. But I feel like jail is just part of life. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if there's a name for this theory. It might be called the high-low theory. I don't know if that's true. I might have just made that up off the top of my head. But people who are at the bottom rung of society and people who are at the absolute top rung of society live similar lives, and the people in the middle avoid certain things. I'll give you an example. The homeless people didn't get the vaccine. The billionaires didn't get the vaccine. The people in the middle got the vaccine.
Yep.
The homeless people are stuck in endless legal battles and going to jail and need a lawyer and getting arrested, etc. The people at the top are stuck in endless legal battles and going to jail and needing a lawyer and getting arrested. And somewhere in the middle, you can avoid these things. You can sit in the middle and go, oh, I'm so glad I don't go to jail. I'm just going to pay my mortgage and I'm just going to work really hard and I'm just going to be quiet. I'm not going to have an opinion and I'm going to listen to the BBC and I'm not going to post it on Facebook and I'm just going to sit there and be a good slave. But if you're on the top or the bottom, you're kind of stuck in the same scenarios. And if you get to a high echelon, the highest echelons of life, you're going to deal with this crap. You're going to go to jail. You're going to catch a case. If you make a bunch of money, you're going to catch a case. If you're at home right now and you're thinking, I want to become a millionaire, that's fine. But if you want to make 20, 30, 40 million dollars and you're from nothing, you're from a council estate like me, and you want to end up with, well, I have hundreds of millions of dollars, but let's say you want to make 30 mil. There is no way you're getting there without catching a case. The feds are going to jump on you. You're going to get tax evasion, money laundering. Some girl's going to want some money. You're going to end up in a jail cell. I guarantee it. So the UK is trying to put me in jail. And I'm saying this now on this podcast. Everyone listen to me. The UK is coming next. Romania's failed. UK's picked it up. And as the UK try and put me in jail, I sit and I wonder. I say, imagine being a prosecutor. I probably shouldn't say this stuff. I'm just going to say it. And you get paid, I don't know, $3,000 a month or whatever, $2,000 a month. You're sitting there just looking through my whole life for months. Oh, he made money. Oh, that's a lot of money. That must be a crime. A Ferrari. Oh, that's a crime. Oh my God, he has a nice watch. Crime. Like, and just sitting there, the obsession. And for like 6 months, just sitting there,
just analyzing
obsessed.
everything. Yeah.
Like, it's kind of weird that there's all these full-grown adults with this much obsession, making documentaries, trying to take me down, prosecutors in dark rooms going through my life, trying to take me down, ex-girlfriend blowing up my phone who I don't reply to anymore. Like, everyone's just like, it's weird. And I just wake up going, there's so many other people's lives which are just intertwined with mine or obsessed with the idea of trying to be involved in mine. It's actually very weird. I don't know who made that documentary. I don't care. I'm not going to watch it because it's garbage and my time is valuable. And everything they produce is garbage.
Yep.
And the idea that they're going to say that trying to become significant in the world is a bad thing because they see it as chasing fame. No, I see it as becoming significant. Did Genghis Khan chase fame?
No.
Well, I mean, he just wanted to conquer the world.
Yeah, but he became famous because of that.
And now we know his name.
Yeah.
And the people who didn't want to conquer the world, guess what happened to them? They woke up, the matrix-minded slaves from back then, the people who watched the BBC of those days, and they woke up and said, I don't want to be a bad person. I want to be a good person. I don't want to chase fame. And what they did is they sat there on their little chair and waited for the marauding horde of the Huns to come over the hill and chop their head off. And that's what they did, and they died a nobody. So the people who didn't chase fame got murdered, and their women got stolen from them, and the ones who did chase fame had empires.
Yeah.
So whoever that dipshit who made that documentary is, I would sit with him and argue with him to end of earth. But the funny thing is, I guarantee if I were to sit across from him, he's a dummy, he's probably a bit slow, he's matrix-minded, and he's an idiot. And nobody believes what he says anyway. So I'm flabbergasted these people say these things without embarrassment or remorse. I'm such a professional and so hard on myself. If I said something so asinine, I would feel genuine guilt. I would have to issue some kind of public apology. These clowns just go through earth talking crap and never even look in the mirror and go, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot and nobody believes me. It's crazy. But I guess this is part of the propaganda campaign because the UK is now ramping up its legal attack on me and they want to put me in jail for some reason because Irania's failed. They pussy out. And they're very frustrated that I won't. They're like, why can't this guy, why can't we just make him shut up? He is so stubborn. Correct. I am stubborn. As we discussed earlier in the podcast, God knows what's right. God knows what's wrong. I just follow the book.
Yeah.
I tell the truth. That's my job to do, is tell the truth. My job here is not to lie to people. I don't lie. So that's why I'm stubborn. That's why they don't like religion. But their goal is to destroy me, and I refuse to let them. But I don't think they're going to kill me anytime soon. I think they're going to try and hit me with endless legal quagmires, and the goal being to financially bankrupt me or mentally break me. They don't understand that
can't happen.
They can't happen because the legal quagmires increase the strength of my brand, which increases my earning potential. And they can't mentally break me because I'm a warlord and I enjoy war. So come do it. It's kind of crazy, like, the UK who are after me, they have these crazy ideas. I'm this big criminal kingpin and blah, 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 blah. I mean, I know I look the part. I'll take it. But I also think, and I'm just talking out loud, like, I'm a prosecutor, okay. He's a criminal kingpin. He's doing crimes. He's doing this. He's doing this. I'm the most Googled man on earth. You think I can't make legit money? Like, I'm the most Googled human on the planet. You think I can't, like, sell $10 million of fucking T-shirts?
Yeah, literally.
Like, what do you think I'm doing?
Anything you start creating.
He's human trafficking. He's selling drugs. Why would I sell drugs? I'm the most famous man on earth. I have the most legal, most straightforward incomes you can possibly have. Hi, this is me. This is where my money comes from. No, must be something hidden. What? Why? Because I said women can't park? Because I said women can't park? No, he's a misogynist. He must have done something. He's a crime boss. Bro, these people have lost their minds.
They're just looking for anything at this point now, isn't it?
And I'm going to go to court and say, this is garbage. Here's all my legal income. This is all a lie.
Yep.
This is garbage. And they're going to sit there and go, jail.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Jail.
They've already decided it from the get-go.
100% is a matrix attack.
Yeah.
100% is a matrix attack, just like Romania did.